is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15), this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The President says gems and jewellery industry spurs impressive export revenue. The Prime Minister praises the coroners for their exceptional service. Sri Lanka Mahavidya Authority warns water capacity of the Udawala reservoir will last only another 3 days. An export processing zone will be set up in Mihintale in the coming years. The notification expected to be issued this week, relaxing restrictions on imports of lorries, trucks and buses used for public transport. Presidential task force will be set up to address challenges faced by plantation community. In world news, Maofa death toll rises to 89. In sports news, Anthony Joshua wins a one-punch knockout in round 7 against Robert Helenius. During a recent discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat to address issues within the gem and jewellery industry, President Ranil Wickremesinghe urged officials to swiftly provide comprehensive plans for achieving the country's objective of bolstering annual export earnings through enhancements in gem and jewellery exports and re-exports. Within this course, the President highlighted the importance of promptly addressing challenges in the gem and jewellery sector to boost the country's revenue from exports. He says that progress towards its target growth in the industry has not met expectations compared to the previous year. As a result, he emphasized the necessity of implementing a well-structured strategy aimed at maintaining an annual export revenue of at least $2 billion. Furthermore, the President revealed that recommendations pertaining to tax policies for the advancement of the gem and jewellery sector were submitted to him by the Sectoral Monitoring Committee on Environment, Natural Resources and Sustainable Development. Deliberations extended to discussions on taxes impacting the industry as well as export and re-export procedures. President stakeholders shared insights with the President regarding the challenges that have arisen within the sector. President Ranil Wickremesinghe assured that the government is fully prepared to provide necessary support and facilities in a formalized plan to elevate the gem and jewellery industry in Sri Lanka is promptly presented. The Prime Minister Gunawadana said the coroners deserve not only respect but more recognition for their exceptional humanitarian service. The Prime Minister made the remark while participating in the General Conference on election of the Coroners Association of Sri Lanka held yesterday at Temple Trees. Coroners with more than 25 years of service and other coroners were also recognized at the event. Expressing his view, the Premier said the facilities needed for the coroner's service that is in parallel with the birth and death registration under the Ministry of Home Affairs should be increased to serve the people of the country with a more mutual understanding. Mrs. Dr. Bandar Gunawadana said that an export processing zone will be set up in Mihintale in the coming years. The zone will process vegetables, fruits and other products in the northern and eastern and north oriental provinces and dispatched to Colombo harbour by train to be exported. The Minister made the remarks at a ceremony held at Mihintale to start reconstruction of the Anuradhapura-Mihintale railway track. Sri Lanka Mahavidya authorities say the water capacity of the Udawala reservoir will only be enough for another 3 days. The present water capacity of the reservoir is 5,000 acre-feet. 2,300 acre-feet of water has been released to Samanalva reservoir from the Udawala reservoir. Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Maruyala has raised concerns of the disparity in the distribution of water for cultivation, stating that although it has been 5 days since water from the Samanalva reservoir was released to the Udawala reservoir, certain farmlands are yet to receive any water. Speaking further in this regard, the Minister said he intends to bring to the Cabinet attention the severe crop damage in the Angdapatas area on account of the lack of water. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
State Finance Minister Ranisima Lapeta say the Gazette notification is expected to be issued this week relaxing restrictions on imports of lorries, trucks and buses used for public transport. However, regarding the import of other vehicles, financial analysts say that the import of other vehicles will be further delayed considering the existing foreign exchange reserves. They also emphasized that the exchange rate of the US dollar could rise once again through the acceleration of vehicle imports. Pradhan Wickremesinghe has agreed to establish a task force to address the multifaceted challenges faced by Sri Lanka's plantation community and to use the Indian grant of 3 billion rupees towards bettering their livelihoods. Talking to ex-Minister of Estate Development Jeevan Thunderman revealed that this was decided at a meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat recently. Accordingly, several matters including utilization of Indian grant, land ownership and wage disparities were discussed. Minister of Agriculture has planned to cultivate maize on 16,000 acres of land during the forthcoming Maha season. This program will be implemented by the small-scale agri entrepreneurs of the ministry. Cultivation activities will be carried out in Hambantota, Mundaragal and Ralapada, Pulannaru and Ampara districts. A program to provide financial assistance of 20,000 rupees per hectare will be implemented. That was local news.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, Dr. Bandulu Gunawardene has issued a direct order to the chairman of the Sri Lanka Transport Board to immediate halt operations of the SLBC flying squad. The minister has mandated their chairman to initiate the setting up of a new flying squad within a week. He said that the new flying squad must be given broader powers and that it should ensure smooth-running state-run bus service that is free of corruption by conducting efficient security checks on ticket dispensing in buses, monitoring the SLBC crews and checking security in bus depots and stands. This step was prompted by the minister's recent revelation SLBC has been incurring issues ranging from losses from 2 million rupees to 3 million rupees daily owing to the proliferation of ticket fraud and other illicit activities within provincial long-distance bus services affecting the southern and Ewa provinces.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Department of Examinations has announced the diploma courses for the 2020-2021 final examination for teachers and for non-trained graduate teachers will be conducted from tomorrow to the 19th of this month. Admissions for those who applied for the final exam have been directed to the principals of teacher colleges. Admission for other examinations have been posted to their private addresses. The relevant application forms can be obtained by entering the official website of the department www.doenets.lk. That came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
On to world news, Maufa death toll rises to 89. West African bloc scraps crisis meeting on Niger group. And US returns huge fall of stolen artifacts to Italy. 89 people have been confirmed killed in the Maui fire that razed the historic town of Lahaina, marking the most deadly U.S. fire in the century. Number of victims could rise significantly, Hawaii Governor Josh Green warned on Saturday as forensic work continues to identify the victims. Hundreds of remains unaccounted for, while hundreds of others fill shelters across Maui after fleeing the flames. While the wildfires are now largely under control, efforts to fully extinguish them are continuing in parts of the island, including around Lahaina, which has been devastated. Authorities have focused efforts on combing through what is left of the coastal area of the island, using sniffer dogs trained to detect bodies to look for signs of corpses under the rubble. So far, they have covered only 33% of the search area, said a visibly emotional Power Police Chief John Pelletier. Emergency meeting of West African nations on the coup in Niger has been postponed indefinitely as concerns over the health of detained President Mohamed Bazoum increase. Members of the Economic Cooperation of West African nations were due to meet in the Ghanaian capital Accra on Saturday to discuss how to tackle the Niger crisis after they approved the deployment of standby force to restore constitutional order. But the meeting was indefinitely suspended for technical reasons. Sources said the meeting was originally set to inform the organization's leaders about the best options for activating and deploying a military force. The United States has returned more than 250 ancient artifacts to Italy after police discovered that they had been stolen. Art Unit of Italy's police found that items had been looted and sold to U.S. museums and private collectors in the 1990s. Among the precious artifacts include pots, paintings and sculptures some up to 3,000 years old. Several of the mosaics are worth tens of millions of euros. The oldest item dates back to the Villeneuve age, while other artifacts were found from the Etruscan civilization, Magna Graecia and Imperial Rome. Back to the headlines of the world news. Maui fire death toll rises to 89. West African bloc scraps crisis meeting on Niger coup. U.S. returns to huge haul of stolen artifacts to Italy.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities from Deshakti Lanka in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, including company housemaid, salary 156,000 rupees, 23 to 57 years. Contact 037 7500 500.
Immigration and Immigration Controller General Harsha Likpetia said that the Immigration Department has received 50,330 online applications through the online system as of 8:30 a.m. on Friday. From the applicants, received 41,588 have applied under the normal service and 26,972 as completed applications with all documents. So far, 6.5 passports have been issued under the system. The General also said that 14,676 applications from the above have been sent with defective documents and applicants have been informed to resend them with all stipulated documents.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Company housemaids, caretakers and home cooks in Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 57 years. Salary starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can now travel overseas free of charge. Branches Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Development Agency.
On to sports news. Heavyweight Anthony Joshua spectacularly knocked out Robert Helenius with one punch in round 7 after boxing tentatively in the first half of the fight at London's O2 Arena. 30-year-old Briton, who was jeered by fans during the fight, landed nothing of note until an overhand right ended Helenius' night. The win, Joshua's first stoppage win in 2.5 years, sets up a blockbuster fight with American Deontay Wilder in January. That was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship ekak menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB I Am, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Dialogue Asiata PLC announced Thursday, 10th August 2023, its consolidated financial results for 6 months ended 30th of June. Financial results included those of Dialogue Asiata PLC and the Dialogue Asiata Group. Dialogue Asiata Group concluded the first half 2023 with a positive revenue performance being recorded across all business segments, namely mobile, fixed line, digital pay television, international and tele infrastructure to record a consolidated revenue of 97.7 billion rupees, demonstrating a growth of 20% year to date.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship ekak menna.
The the all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news. Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment Manish Nanekkara stated that Sri Lanka has recorded a workers' remittance of US $541 million in July 2023. Taking to X, the minister stated that the workers' remittances recorded July mark was at 78% surge compared to last year. According to data from Central Bank of Sri Lanka, a total of US $476 million was recorded in workers' remittances in June 2023. US $480 million was recorded in May 2023 and US $454 million in April. That was economic news. And on to the weather report. Met Department says that spells of showers will occur in the western and Sabaragawa provinces, the Galle, Mathura, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Short thundershowers will occur at a few places, the eastern, U and northern provinces during the evening or night. Mild fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. That was the weather report. Back to the headlines of the news. The president said gems and jewelry industry spurs impressive export revenue. The Prime Minister praised the coroners for their exceptional service. Sri Lanka Power Authority warns water capacity of Dubai Reservoir will last only another 3 days. Export processing zone will be set up in Mintale in the coming years. Gazette notification is expected to be issued this week, relaxing restrictions on import for lorries, trucks and buses used for public transport. Presidential task force will be set up to address challenges faced by the plantation community. In foreign news, Mahafa death toll rises to 89. And in sports news, Anthony Joshua wins the one-punch knockout in round 7 against Robert Helenius. That ends the afternoon news from Radio Sri Lanka.